Hi, I'm Emily Spicer, head of the Express News Taste team, and this is Emily's Easy Entertaining. Welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to turn this, just your basic store-bought grated Parmesan Reggiano cheese, and how to turn this into beautiful little cups, little crispy bits of melted and lovely Parmesan cheese that you can stuff with all kinds of stuff. And I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do that for 3 different flavors. So let's head on over to my stove. Okay, so I have my stove set up to make the Parmesan cups. I do not have my exhaust on because I didn't want the sound to get in the way. When you make this, you will definitely want your exhaust on. It's going to be a little smoky because it's almost all fat. So I've got my grated Parmigiano Reggiano cheese here. This is just the kind that I got at the grocery store that's already pre-grated. You want definitely the grated or shredded one. The bigger the better. You do not want the powdery kind at all. I've got my pan non-stick all nicely heated up on medium, about 1/8 of a cup of the Parmesan. And I'm going to try to just get that onto the pan in a nice kind of even circle. You want it to be a little bit thin, and I just use the bottom of the measuring cup to kind of spread that out. You're going to let that get, you can see that it's already starting to get a little bubbly and melty. You want it to be completely melted and actually brown on the bottom. And that's going to take just a few minutes, like 2 or 3, before we're ready to try to flip it over. And I'm a little bit persnickety, so all these little extra bits, I try to push onto there. You don't have to do that. That's just something for those of us who are especially anal about this. Okay, you can start to see that it's getting brown around the edges, which is a good sign, and it's starting to get more bubbly and more evenly melted. When this is done, we're going to flip it over. Let it cook for just a couple more seconds, and then we're going to drape it over the base of this shot glass here. And that's going to be what creates the form of the little cup for us. Okay, that's starting to look pretty good. Turning them is not as easy as you would think. These little things don't really get hard, and so they get misshapen very easily. Let that go just a couple more seconds here. A little browner. I found that it's easiest to use a pair of tongs to kind of help lift it onto the spatula. And then no matter what, it always ends up kind of folding and getting a little misshapen, and that's just the way that it is. Okay. You want that just a few seconds on there. Drape it on the bottom of that shot glass. And then use a paper towel to kind of press it. Oops, I got a little extra on there. Press it into the shape that you would like. Not very hard, and definitely don't do that with your bare hands. This is all basically melted fat. If you have never had melted fat come in contact with your skin, don't let this be the recipe that makes you do that. So you're going to let that cool for just a little bit. Get that out of the way. And once that starts to cool, you can see it's already starting to harden. That's going to keep its shape, and that is something then that you can fill up with a bunch of stuff. You're going to want to make more than one of these, I assume. In between each one, with a paper towel, just go ahead and wipe out the pan to get some of that grease out of there so that you're not totally overcome with smokiness. All right, and then I'll show you how we're going to fill these. Okay, so I have finished making my Parmesan cups. You can see that they are nice and crispy. They are cool. They are going to be beautiful little cups to hold something. And now I'm going to show you 3 different options for filling them, just to give you kind of a range of ideas. The first one I'm going to put with just a little roasted shrimp. And actually the recipe for garlic and red pepper roasted shrimp, which is what's in there, was in last week's Emily Easy Entertaining. So be sure to check that out if you would like the recipe for this. And I'm going to top it off with a little homemade cocktail sauce, which also is a part of that recipe. And voila, that one is done. The next one is going to be a little bit of a roast beef sandwich, I don't know, with cheese. So I've got about a quarter of a slice of roast beef all nice and neatly rolled up. I'm gonna put in the bottom there. And then I'm going to squirt on some horseradish sauce. You do actually want to use a horseradish sauce that has a little bit of cream on it, otherwise it's going to be a little too intense. And just squirt a little bit on top of there. I'm going to garnish that with a little slice of cherry tomato. I think actually a better garnish would be a little slice of mild red pepper, maybe a sweetie drop, but they didn't have any at the store, so I'm going to go with a cherry tomato for that. And then the third one, because what's better with cheese than more cheese, I am going to stuff it with some pimento cheese that I buy pre-made at Central Market. I know that there are several other brands that do that at other grocery stores. And I'm going to top that off just for some color contrast, also with a cherry tomato. And there you go, we are done, and we've got our little Parmesan cups. Now I know it can seem a little bit daunting, all of the effort that goes into making one of them, but you can make these ahead of time. So make the Parmesan cups actually several days ahead of time. You can do it, up to 5. Just store them once they're cooled carefully, because these are going to have, you know, shape that you don't want to shatter. Store those in an airtight container like a Tupperware or a plastic bag in the refrigerator for the few days that you're going to make them in advance. And then when you're ready to fill them, just bring them out, let them come to room temperature, and stuff away. I would not stuff them ahead of time, because if you do that, they are going to get soggy, and that is not going to be nearly as delicious for your guests. So happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope that you have a wonderful and full of love and warmth and laughter kind of season. And I hope that some of my recipes make it onto your holiday table. For more of my recipes, videos, and tips, go to expressnews.com/easyentertaining. I will see you next time.